Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to this week's video. In this week's video, we're going to continue on with the quick typing word game. Last week what we did is we created this simple word game that when you press the letters that are appearing on the screen, they disappear. And if you press the wrong key, you get spammed with a load of messages telling you that you've pressed the wrong key. Now, as much of that is a game in a sense, it's not fun because you don't have a score, you don't have a level, you don't have health. There's no way for you to win or lose the game. So in this video, what I really want to do is add in some type of like a scoring system or a health system or all of it, so you can actually progress through the game and win. So with that being said, let's jump into it and let's get cracking. Okay, so not really too sure where to start this video off. I think I'm going to start with the heads-up display just to show some basic information. That's because I'm not very good at heads-up displays. I'm just going to keep it very basic. But I think it's a good place to start because then when we start adding data to it, we can use that heads-up display to show that data straight away. So to start with, what I'm going to do is I'm just thinking about it actually. Where would I put this data? Now I want to keep the data all in the same place because this is quite, I guess it would be quite a fast game, and you're going to be concentrating on what letters are going to be coming down the screen. So you don't really want sort of like a health in one place and a score in the other place and a level in another place, because you don't have to be looking around the screen for all that information. I think I don't really want it over the top of the game because it'll distract you. So what I'm thinking actually is, because obviously this game is made up of sort of like a giant sprite as a wall, if we just copy that, so if I right click up here in the assets and go to edit and duplicate, let's make a copy of that and let's drag it over. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to set the location to 0 to center it, and I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees, and I'm going to move it a bit closer to the top. So just looking at my bounding box here, the one that you can see roughly outlined, I'm just bringing it down enough so that it covers that. So I can see here that in the value of the Z it's 3606. I'm just going to change that to 3600. Hit play. It doesn't really show enough on the screen there and it looks like it's affecting my letters. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to change that to 3550. See if that looks a bit better. Which I think it does. I think it, it just shows enough of it. You could argue you could have 3500. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, so I'll leave that bit up to you. I'm probably going to go on the narrower side and go 3550, and that's fine for me. So to fix that issue with the letters, because this is a platform sprite, it's probably going to have collision, which it does. It's set to block all. Just change the collision mode for the top edge to no collision. And with that being said, let's rename it as well to top edge. So if I hit play now with the no collision, the game functions as expected. So that's absolutely fine. And now I've got a nice bit of space at the top, which I'm thinking I can just put like level, score, and health straight across the top. Because you're going to be looking at the top anyway, I reckon, for the letters coming down. So I think that's a much better place than if I was to place it on one of these sidebars just here like that. So again, let's create the user interface. So if we right click in our browser and go to user interface and select widget blueprint, I'm going to call mine HUD. I'm just going to make mine a single part. What I mean by that is you could make a main HUD and then add sub HUD items or children HUDs. So you could make the health, the score, and the levels all separate widgets and add them to this, but I'm not going to do that. For the sake of this project, I'm not going to do that. So within here, we've got a canvas panel, and because I'm going to be displaying things sort of across the top of the screen here, I'm just going to use a horizontal box straight away. So chuck in a horizontal box, you've got that. And then what I want is essentially I need a label and then a value, a label then a value, a label then a value. So we're going to go text and change that to level. I've put a space at the end there just to give it a bit of natural spacing for the value. I'm going to grab another text and I'm going to have this as 0. I'll grab another text, chuck that in, and call this one score. And oh, actually these are quite close together. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the level and its value in its own box. So let's right click on the level text and wrap with horizontal box. And then I'm just going to drag that 0 in with it. And same with score, I'm going to right click, wrap and horizontal box. And then I can drag my next text straight into this one. I guess you could rename these horizontal boxes. So we can call this level box and score box. And then I guess now when we get another one, we can call this health box. Health box, and then we can drag the text in. Text. Oh, I've messed that up. So let's drag that again. Text and text. First one's going to be health, and the second one's going to be a 0. So one of them's still a text block, so let's change that to a 0. So that's fine. So now what we can do is, because we made all these horizontal boxes, if I just select the first one, and let's say this one's going to be left aligned, and let's vertically align it as well. Score box, I want that to be center and horizontal, and for the health box I want that to be right aligned and centered. And I think the only reason it's not changed is maybe I need to set my horizontal box to size to content. Okay, that didn't work. So what I'm going to do is, let's do that. That's a good one. The top right hand corner, if you hold control, that should update. And I was expecting, actually, if I hold shift, control. Okay, that didn't do what I expected it to do, to be honest. So that's the Y position. Okay, let's just check something. So if I hit control on that and shift on that. So why haven't these adjusted? Oh, okay. So we need to select fill. I told you that I wasn't very good at heads-up displays. Fill, and that hasn't centered. So do we need to change that one to fill as well? So that's worked out, right? Okay. So I do apologise for that. I really don't like the heads-up display sort of maker in Unreal. I don't do it enough to understand it fully, so I always get confused with the fills and autos. And anyway, so eventually we got what we wanted. So what I ended up doing there was I selected the horizontal box at the top, and instead of playing with the anchor sizes, I just changed the size X to 1920, which is my screen size. And I changed the Y to 50 at the same time. And then under each horizontal box or level box, score box and health box, I changed these to fill and then left, and then score was fill and center, and then health box was fill and right aligned, and that's worked out fine. So if I hit compile now, I was going to say if we hit play, it'll look. Let's have a look at it. What it looks like, but we've not told it to go on the screen yet. Now, again, very simple game. I don't have a player to sort of keep all these stats in. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the game mode. So if we open that up, we need to do an event begin player. Event begin player. Let's create a widget. And because we've just created this HUD, we should see that here now. And then from the return value, I just want to promote this to a variable, and we're going to call this one HUD. And this is just going to be an easy way for us to reference the HUD from anywhere else. Anyway, from that we're going to do add to viewport, which has come up already, so we'll select that. And then now we can hit compile, and if we hit play we should see the result of what we've made. Okay, so that's not too bad. I'm probably going to try and move it down just a little bit, and I don't like how close to the edge of the screen these are, so if I can I'm going to adjust that. So to bring it down, I'm actually going to increase the size of... Actually, what I could do is I could select the level box, the other horizontal boxes, and say align bottom. So let's do that again and again. Let's hit compile and play. So I like that much better. I've just moved them down, but I need to create some space on the left and right. So to do that, I'm going to try and add some spacers. So I'll add a spacer on the left, and that's going to be the X. I'm going to add maybe 20. And then same again on the right. I'm going to add another spacer of 20. Hit compile, hit play. And for me that's much better. So I can play the game now, and... Oh, I need to select the game to play it. As I'm playing the game now, if need be, I can quickly glance at the top of the screen, see what level and what score I'm on, and that should be fine. So with that being done, let's move on to the next bit. Okay, so starting to think about the data that we're going to need to collect. What we're going to do is I'm going to put this in the game mode. This is mainly because the game mode can be referenced from like any other part of the blueprint. So if we go to like the letter spawner, for example, we can get the game mode from anywhere in the game, so that should be fine. And also, because there's no player character, essentially, I think this is probably the best place to store it. So for me, I know that I'm going to need some health, a level, and a score to start with, and to sort of increase the speed of how quick the letters spawn. I'm probably going to need some sort of spawn timer or sort of difficulty timer. So just in the game mode, I'm going to add some variables. So score. Let's change these to a float as well. Score level. Health. Let's say spawn timer. Spawn timer. And I guess because we've got a health, in a sense, we're going to start to take damage. So I guess maybe as the levels increase, whenever you miss a letter, it could do more damage. So let's just, for the sake of it, let's just add that in for now, and if we don't use it, we can just delete it later. Damage. And I think that should be fine. So what I'm actually going to do is, just as for safety's sake, I'm going to set these values to 0 when we begin the game. So the level should be level 0. My score should be 0 too, and I guess my health should be 100. Which I'm going to consider health as 100 as being full health. And I guess what else we could do is we can update our heads-up display to reflect this data straight away. So let's go to HUD, and for this to be possible, we actually need to make sure that these text blocks are variables. Well, actually, we could bind, and I guess that negates the need to do that. Yeah, let's do that. So for the level box text 0, I'm going to bind this and create a new binding. And to get the text to return, we're going to need to get game mode. That's there at the top. And then as the game mode, we can cast to 2D side scroller. And you can plug that in there. And then as the game mode, we can, which one's this? This is level, so get level. And then what we can do is, if you plug that in, it should convert it, so that converts it to a text. Hit compile, that's fine. And I'm actually going to go back to the designer, and where this says just text, I think we should rename this text block to level number. And if we go back to designer, this should now say, oh, it doesn't, so let's go back. Where is it? So it's there, the function get text. I'm going to rename this to update level number. And let's do the score one. Let's change this text block to score number. And then hopefully if we bind it, let's create a binding. There we go. So it says get score number instead, but I guess we can rename that. Update score number. And very similarly, we're going to do the exact same thing again, which actually I guess we could copy and paste part of this. Let's copy that, paste, and we can just drag that in. Obviously, instead of level, we want to get score. We can plug that into here and plug that into there. We can move that over. Hit compile. And then lastly, what we can do is get the health. So let's change that to health number. And let's bind that. So create binding. I'm just going to rename it just for consistency. Update health number. And again, hopefully if we've still got it copied, we can paste, which we have. Let's plug this in, move that down, connect that up. We can get rid of the level. Oh, what if I deleted that? Get rid of the level, and instead we're going to get health. Plug this in, and that should be fine. So if we hit play now, our health should say 100, which it does. Our score is going to be 0, and our level is going to be 0. So let's just add in a little bit of code to our letter spawner to increase our score when we do hit the correct key. So I'm going to hit compile and save because this all works, and same again. I'm going to save my game mode. Now I've already got letter spawner open, but if you haven't, just go back and open up your letter spawner. And so when we check a key and we are saying it's correct essentially, and we're destroying the character, what we should do is get our game mode. We should cast to 2D side-scrolling game mode. We should get our score, and let's add 1 to it. So if you type in ++, you'll get this increment float function, which increases your value by 1 and then resets it. So for every letter that you hit, I just want to get 1 point, so that's fine. If you want to get more than 1 point, you're going to have to do an addition and then reset it after that. So after that, you'll want to do set score, and you'll need to plug that in, and you'll probably need to plug that into there like that. However, I'm only going to go up by 1, which sets itself. So that's fine by me. And I guess while we're here, what we could do is we could get the score and we could decrement it. Whoops. We could decrement it if we hit the wrong key. So what I've done here is if we get it right, we're going to increase our score, and if we get it wrong, we're going to decrease it. And this should work. Now I guess we should check to see if this isn't less than 0. So less than or equal to 0. Should it be? If this is less than or equal to 0 is true. Oh, we only want to do that if it's false. So if it's not less than or equal to 0, then we should decrement. Otherwise, don't do anything. And with this looking a little bit messy here, what I might actually do is I might copy this and paste it down here. Plug this in, make it look a little bit neater. And let's get score. Plug that into there like that. And make this a bit nicer to look at. There we go. So, if we get it right, we're going to get our score and we're going to add 1 to it. And if it was wrong, we're going to check to make sure that our score isn't already 0 or less. And then if not, deduct it. So if we hit compile and play, we shouldn't get any errors now. And if we press Z, X, G, L, B, J, K, W, X, T, we've got a nice score. And if I start to miss them, ooh, nothing happens. But if I start hitting the wrong keys, P, I, V, so I noticed that that score was jumping down a little bit quicker than it should have been. So there's probably something going on with my loop body. So I'll check that out. And also, if the letters were falling straight off the bottom of the screen, we didn't really get any sort of score taken off us, which this is the question we need to ask. Do we just want to deduct score, or do we want to sort of take damage when we miss them? So maybe we should only deduct score when we press the wrong key, but when they fall off the edge of the screen you start losing health. And this is where we could probably use that end overlap. So what we're saying is, if the shape gets to the bottom of this box and is falling off the screen, which perhaps we should make this box just a little bit bigger, just to cover us on that. So here we go, box. Let's move that down. So there we go. We're saying that's really off the bottom of the screen now. If something leaves this box, maybe we should cast to our game mode and deduct some health. Cast to game mode. I tell you what might actually be better for us to do is when we first begin the game, maybe we should get the game mode. Oh, get game mode. I'm going to try and save us from having to do this cast every time. Let's do a cast at the beginning. And then let's just promote this to a variable as game mode ref, game mode ref, and then we can use game mode ref then everywhere instead of using this game mode thing. So let's get game mode ref, and this time we want to get health, and let's minus off our game mode damage, maybe. Ooh. Get damage. There we go. So we can minus off our damage value, and then we will have to set health. Set health. Our target's our game mode reference. One more time. Do that like that. Plug that in. And whoa, what am I doing? Move that in over like that. Okay, so that's fine, and that's going to be in there like that. So we're going to get our game mode, we're going to get some of our health, and we're going to deduct it with our damage. Let's just go to our game mode and make sure we actually set a damage, which we didn't, so it's going to deduct 0. Let's just say that's going to be minus, oh, not minus 2, let's just say 2. If we did minus 2 here, when we actually try to deduct minus 2, 2 minuses will become a positive, and yeah. So if we let the letters fall off the screen now, you should see that your health starts to deduct, which it does. That's absolutely fine, that works out. And I guess we kind of want our health to start regenerating if we continue to get them right. So let's work towards that. Okay, so we're going to continue on, and actually from this point it's going to be this is a new day. It's the next morning. I started getting a bit tired, and I thought I'd pause it there and continue on this morning. But for some reason, my camera's just decided to stop working. So I've had to deactivate that. If it suddenly turns back on, you'll see my face just appear in the bottom left. But while the camera's off, it you can't see me. Yeah, so we're going to continue on, and obviously we added in this node here to deduct health. Now, unfortunately, there is a little bit of a bug with it. When we press play, if you actually succeed at the game and you actually hit the letters, because they're actually being removed from that box, you'll notice as I get the letters, my health is actually being deducted. So we actually need to move this to a slightly different area. Now, what I was thinking was, obviously we've got this box here to tell whether or not something leaves the area, and all I simply did was I selected this box here and I moved it down just a little bit. I'm actually going to move this back up. I'm just going to select my camera and just see how that look. Let me just press play and exit, so I can see there's a little bit there. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to create another box underneath it, which is completely separate and intended only for capturing the ones that we've missed, rather than the ones that are active in the game area. So in your letter spawner, and go to your viewport, I guess, to make it a bit easier to see. What we can do is, where this box is, I'm actually going to rename this now to sort of game area, and I'm going to add a new one. So I'm going to add another box collision, and I'm going to call this one missed letters, just to be quite specific to what it's going to do. And then I'm actually going to drag this onto the game area, just so that it's not a part of the game area. And I'm just going to move this underneath. And I guess I don't actually have to do that. I can do this in the game, but let's change the width to be the same, so 1500. Let's hit compile. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into the game now, and I'm going to find where that cube is. So that's actually, let's pick the letter spawner from the world outliner, and I'm just going to click on missed letters here in the sort of component view. I'm going to drag that down. So if I play now, can I see it? So yeah, you can see the game outline is just here, and then our missed letters are just off the screen there. So what we can do now in our letter spawner and in the event graph, we can actually say, right, I don't want to deduct my health here. Let's just deselect all that. I want this code to run at a different time. So let's just Alt and get rid of that. And we want to select the missed letters from the left now. And if we scroll down on the right here, we will get on component end overlap, or begin overlap would actually do. If something begins to overlap the missed letters box, then we kind of know we want to deduct our health. But I guess we need to be a little bit careful, because if something leaves the game area, it's going to be removed. Let's test that and see how that works. Well, I might be tripping myself up here. So if I press O, E, E, N, P, F, and then if I miss them now, so there we go. So now I'm missing them. My health's actually going down. But if I start to hit the letters, oh, what have I pressed? That was weird. If I start to hit the letters correctly, my health is no longer being deducted. So that's that out of the way. So now we want to sort of create some kind of regeneration. And I was actually having to think about this, and instead of the health regenerating, I think as we gain points with our score, as we're hitting these and we're gaining score, what I think we should do is, every time you progress through a level, so let's say you get 10 points, you then go to level 1 from level 0. And then if you get 20 points, you go to level 2. And at the same time, maybe the speed of the letters can be increasing. But as you change from level 0 to level 1, you get sort of like 10 health back. But you only get it once, kind of thing. So if you then lose a couple of points and you drop back into level 0 and then you gain back to level 1, you're not going to get that health back again. So you can't sort of like cheat and regenerate your health. But I'm actually saying a real lot of things there. So let's just get something done. So obviously our score is going to be increasing, and that's going to be in our game mode. So if we head over to the game mode, and I'm a bit nervous to use a tick, but I probably am, just for now, and then we can replace it with something better, because I want it to check all the time what my scores actually changed to. So what I'm thinking is, if my score is greater than or equal to 10 is true. Oh, what if I pressed here? It's going to end up opening up Visual Studio, isn't it? If that ends up true, then we can set our level to level 1. If it's false, yeah, so just having a quick think about it, what might actually be better is if we do an AND. So if we do an AND here and have the AND make the decision. So if the score is actually let's try this. So if the score is less than or equal to 9, let's just neaten this up a little bit. This probably isn't going to look pretty by the end of it, but let's branch that. Okay, let's move these down. Let's move these down. So as soon as my score becomes as long as my score is less than 9 is true, my level is going to be 0. If that's false, that must mean that it's either going to be greater than or equal to 10. But if the score is less than or equal to, let's say, 19, that's going to be level 1. And I'm probably going to follow this trend and get down to some greater numbers. Let's move that over here. Let's move that there. I'll tell you what, I shouldn't focus on making this look nice and neat, but I'm probably going to. So yeah, so if it's less than 9, we're going to be level 0, and then if we become between 10 and 19, it's going to be level 1, and then if we grab, I'll tell you what, let's just copy all of that scenario, copy and paste, put it there. If that becomes false, then we should be between 20 and 29, and that's going to become level 2. And then we should start maybe increasing this. Maybe when we get to like level 4, we should make it for like, I don't know, 40 to 60 maybe. So I'm going to copy all of that, paste. So actually this wasn't going to be as labor intensive as I thought. I thought I'm going to have to drag all these in several times, but yeah, obviously copying and pasting is a thing, so that makes that easier. So let's change this one to between 30 and 39, and then if we paste again, Let's change this one now to level 4. But let's make this one a little bit bigger. Let's say 40 and 59. Let's paste again. Plug that in. This is going to be level 5. And that's going to be between 60 and... I don't know, let's just go straight to 99. So obviously the letters are going to be flying down the screen by this point, I think. So you're going to get points quite quickly in my eyes. So let's paste it one more time, except actually I don't think I need this one. I don't need the and anymore. I'm just going to do 100 points now. So yeah, let's just plug that in there like that. If we are greater than or equal to 100, you are on level 6, let's say. But level 6 is like you've finished the game. So like print string, congrats, you win. Oh, you will. There's me thinking I was tired and not thinking straight. Now I'm just woke up and not thinking straight. Anywho, so congrats, you win. Let's just have a little play of that and see if that works in theory. So HONJRXFUKY. So we are level 1 now. G, V, F, E, K, C, K, G, Q, S. So we're level 2. I was level 2, but then I messed it up. So there you go. We're level 2 again now. And we can keep going. So the good thing is now... I keep looking at the camera even though it's broke. The good thing is now that obviously that scoring system was really simple to set up. As our score increases, we are going to different levels. Now you could probably complicate it a little bit more and reset the score to 0 when you change level, and set up some transitions between the different screens. But for such a simple game, I don't think that's worth it. But I want to get some health regeneration going. So when you get to like level 1, I need to think about this. So I'm just going to pause for a sec, think about how the best way to implement the health, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I think we've got something that might work. And when I say we, I mean me, but yeah. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the health, and what I want to do is I'm going to check to see if it's greater than or equal to 90. What I'm thinking is every time you gain a level, I'm going to give you 10 health back. Just as like a lump sum of health. But obviously if my health is greater than 90, I'm going to end up giving you more health than you should possibly have. So if you've only got like 99 health and I give you an extra 10, it's going to go beyond what I want you to have. So I'm just going to check first just to see if do you have more than 90 health. If you don't, get health, add 10 to it, and then reset it. So is your health greater than or equal to 90? No. So set the health to plus 10. I feel like that's all I need to do. Actually, I'm going to do that the other way around. I'm going to do health less than or equal to. 90. If your health is less than or equal to 90 is true, add 10 to it, no questions asked. And then what I can do is then I can get that out of the way. Over there like that. However, if your health is not less than or equal to 90, what we want to do is get our health minus that from 100. So if your health is 99 minus the 100, you're going to be left with 1. Then what I want to do is add that. Oh, get my health. And then add that difference back onto it and then set it. Yeah, so that should work. So what I'm thinking is you get to level 1. Once you get to level 1, you're going to set the level to 1, and then you're going to go, right, is your health less than or equal to 90? If it is, add 10 to it. If it's not, whatever will make it 100% again, just add it. Oh, but obviously, if I get to level 1 and then fail and then go back to level 0 and then go back to level 1, I don't want this to do multiple times. So actually, let's add in a do once node. And I'm probably going to need to copy that, and I'm gonna do that for every level, because I'm hoping. Actually, I should check that. Can I plug all of these into that? Yeah, I can. Sweet. So I'm gonna plug all of these into this, like that. And should I have one here? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that. So what I am going to do, sorry, not what I could do, what I am going to do is I'm just going to move this down, get that, pull that over here, just so it looks a bit nicer. So in theory, what should happen is as we go through the levels, we should, on a one-time basis, get a boost of health. So let's test that. So, oh no, I've lost some health. I better get to level 1. K, M, H, D, D, I, F, H, I, D, E, X. Okay, so my health didn't go up. What have I done? What am I doing wrong? So my health wasn't greater than 90. Sorry, yeah, my health wasn't less than 90. So my health minus 100. Or is it the other way around? Is it going to be 100 minus my health? Would leave me with a so the other one would have been a minus actually, wouldn't it? So I'm not too sure if that would have worked. And then my health added this. Yeah, okay. Or actually, what I could, I'm being a bit simple here. Actually, what I could just do is say set my health back to 100. Yeah, that, to be fair, that makes a lot more sense. So lose a bit of health. So I've got 98. So I've got 94 health. So T, R, P, and M, H, M, M, A, E. So my health now has just gone back to 100. That's great. Let's lose some more health. Okay, so now it should just add 10. So J, N, L, W, K, N, F, A, boom. So there we go. So that added 10 health straight to my health value there. So I guess that just leaves us now with the timer. So as this is going through, as we change level, I want my spawn timer here. I want the time to change. So let's work on that. So in the game mode, actually, that could be quite simple. If we do this is going to be awful, but let's do a sequence. Do a sequence straight away and pull this straight to a reroute node. Okay, so what I'm thinking is I'm gonna get a select and I'm gonna pull in the level. I'm gonna, I think it's truncate. So essentially that's just gonna round it. It should never be a number other than an integer anyway, but yeah, let's just plug that in. And let's just have this set to that. Like that. Do I need this on an event? Yeah, well, it kind of is going to change dynamically, isn't it? So how many options are there now? I guess I need 6. However, oh yeah, because my spawn timer can be on the 6th one. I'm just thinking my spawn timer can be 0, and then it'll just, oh no, that'll be infinite then, won't it? Okay, I'll figure something out for that, but what I'm thinking is that spawn timer, if it's 0, we'll tell the letter spawner to like stop. So we'll leave that at 0. Anyway, so for option 0, so if we're on level 0, let's say that this is going to be a 2-second timer. Now, what did I set it to? So I set it to 1. For level 1, we can have 1.5. For level 2, we can have it down to 1. And then we can start dropping this 0.75. Then we can have 0.55. Then we can have 0.4. And I think that's going to be, well, these are completely guessed numbers, but I feel like that would be absolutely terrible to play when we do it. This looks really simple. I hope that actually works. What I'm going to quickly do is just do a print string, and I'm just going to plug that into there and see what that says. So it's 2 C0 G A Y Q Q T O P. So there we go. So the timer would have just changed to 1.5. So I confirmed that that is going to work. I thought I wasn't recording then. I freaked out. So now back on our letter spawner, if we can hook up our game mode reference and then get spawn timer, and if we can just plug this into here. Now the only thing that's going to concern me now is if this timer has to be reset for that new time to kick in. I hope that's not the case. I'm just going to pause and find out because I'm not 100% certain. Okay, so a slight disappointment. The event timer needs to be cancelled and reset. So that's not going to be the best thing for me. So just to make this a little bit easier to fix for now, but it's going to need to be replaced. I'm actually going to replace this with a tick, which such a small game will be fine, but obviously as you build it out, a tick's not going to be appropriate because it can be quite sort of performance taxing. But what I'm thinking is if I use a tick and then a delay, Again, like I said, this is not the most appropriate thing to do. And then we can set the spawn timer for the duration of the delay. So it's going to tick, it's going to delay. I don't want to be doing a cast every time, so let's get rid of that. Let's move this up. And let's do an event begin play on that one. So that cast will be just once. It'll tick, tick, tick. And then really we need to be doing this, don't we? So I guess we could keep the spawn letter function or event like that. And what I'll do, I'll drag that over here, and I'm just going to put this in a box and says needs fixing, replace tick with timer. So I will find a way of getting the timer. I just don't want to backtrack too much. There may be changes we have to make, but you know, if it's requested, I'll do that in another video. But I don't want to waste too much time. With such a small game, this should be fine. So I'm just going to test that and see how that works. So that's fine. So right, so we should have 2-second timer now until we get what I'm actually going to do, just to make sure I know when this is going to work. I'm going to change level 1 to something crazy like 0.1, because it'll go from 2 seconds to just a letter every millisecond, I guess, and it'll be definitely noticeable because I won't be able to play it anymore because it'll be far too quick. Q L L, and here we go, it's about to get mental. Okay, so yeah, that started to fall to pieces. What I'm gonna do though, I'm gonna change that to 0.4 because I noticed that actually no, I'm not. I'm gonna change that back to 1.5. I noticed that some of the letters started falling around, which I reckon if we go back to the content browser and look at letter generator, our paper sprite is simulating physics, and I'm going to say no collision. Oh no, you got to have collision because I want it to overlap. Overlap all. So I guess what my letters were doing, because they were all spawning so quickly, they were colliding with each other, and some of them were falling off the screen. But let's just do a quick test here. L J D O. We're about to change level, so this should be a little bit quicker now. Why? Not too crazy. Obviously, the next level is going to be back to the speed we started with. Obviously, we defaulted to 1 second. So let's get through this. Oh, so now they're getting a bit quicker. And I guess the next level is where I'm going to be started to be tested a little bit. What I should have done is, you can't see this, but it's getting a bit dark outside. I think the sun's gone out or it's about to rain, but it makes looking at the keyboard when I need to a bit difficult. So I'm doing pretty well somehow here. I actually cannot look at what level I'm on because it's too quick. Okay, so this is now mental for me. I'm doing it though. Okay, I give up. But oh, what have we got here? So we've got obviously a lot of error messages. I don't think it liked the fact that I've got it simulating physics, but the collision is set to overlap all. What was it on before? It was on physics actor, wasn't it? So So what do we not want it to block? Let's see if we can customize this. I'm physics body. So I want it to overlap physics bodies. Is this going to complain to me now? because technically they shouldn't collide with themselves. Do I have any errors? So I don't have any errors, so that's fine. So, I mean, I'm probably going to leave it there because I've noticed the time's getting on again. I feel like I might have dragged my feet a little bit in this one, so I do apologise. But we've got some sort of scoring system in there. We're taking some health damage. We've got now a nice little breakdown of how to switch levels. We're getting some health regeneration. We're determining what speed we should be spawning the letters at. Granted, I do apologise, the event timer didn't work, so we're having to use this delay. But sorry, the tick with the delay. I'll try and work on that. If people request it enough, I'll work on that. But I'm probably going to work on something different for next week. If this was useful to you, please consider giving me a like. I know this is different to what I normally do. I normally do sort of like anything shooter, or basically not this style of thing. If you like something different every so often like this, please let me know down in the comments. If you want to chat with me, if you want to let me know your appreciation, or if you've got anything to ask me at all, pop that down in the comments down below. I will always reply. If you want to watch more videos like this, I post every week on a Sunday. And if you want to get a notification, what you can do is you can subscribe and press the bell, and that'll give you a notification to say that I've posted. If you want to support me, there's a Patreon link down below, and also there's a link to my Discord if you want to join that, and you can chat. There's a couple of us now, so you can chat with a few of us. I've not been active recently. Life's getting a little bit sort of busy at the moment. I do see messages, so if people do post, I will be able to get back to you. It's just I've not been posting directly myself. And with all that being said, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in another video next week. Thank you very much, and goodbye.